I know why you're here. Let's talk about patch 1.1.0.17 in Dune Awakening. Look, listen here, okay? I have not skipped a patch update. They go from 1.1.015 to 1.1.017, okay? Deep Desert. The PvP area has been adjusted to encompass the entire southern half of the Deep Desert map. This means that players who have no interest in PvP should be able to find what they want without engaging in PvP, Imperial testing stations, caves, and so forth found in the area, are thus now PvE. Control points and shipwrecks will, however, continue to be PvP throughout the entire map, which means you'll find localized pockets of PvP within the PvE section still, similar to how shipwrecks are PvP in the Haga Basin. To retain the risk versus reward setup for the Deep Desert, the density of the resources increases the further north you go. This includes high density clusters of valuable resources. The largest spice fields will also spawn in the north. Also, the majority of the control points will exist in the northern part. As part of these changes, we have made some balancing adjustments in the Deep Desert. The lower half of the Deep Desert now offers PvE loot that is balanced towards shared loot and PvE activities. You may find better loot in the more dangerous PvP area located further north on the map. In the PvE area, for example, each player gets their own loot and you can expect to receive one schematic. In the PvP area, loot is distributed on a first come first serve basis. With higher quantities of everything, players can expect to find 2 to 6 schematics there, which are among the rarest. It did say plasteel plates can only be found in PvP zones, but there's a line crossed through that because it says this line was inaccurate since plasteel plates can be obtained from crashing ships. The amount of active medium spice fields has been reduced from 8 to 5. The number of active small spice fields has been increased from 20 to 22. The spawn rate of titanium and stravadium has been reduced in the PvE areas so that large quantities only spawn in the far out PvP areas. The number of nodes and resource hotspots in the PvE part of the map has been reduced. The respawn time of titanium and stravadium has increased from 30 to 45 minutes. Some Imperial testing stations are still in the PvP region, and players who want all schematics available each week will want to visit both the PvP and the PvE Imperial testing stations. Keep in mind the loot in them rotates each week, so even if you're not interested in PvP, you could obtain it at a later date if you're not able to trade for it or buy it off the exchange. Vehicles. We've begun work on the outline changes to the Scout Ornithopter. Equipping a rocket launcher module will now decrease the top speed of your Ornithopter. For Scout Ornithopters, the reduction is 20%. For Assault Ornithopters, the reduction is 10%. Info cards for the modules now reflect this change. Existing Ornithopters mid-air will now cause them to drop straight down instead of gliding away. This should decrease the chance that you lose your Ornithopter upon disconnecting from the game or exiting by accident your Ornithopter mid-air. Yes, we have seen the videos. Known issue. There is an edge case that if your vehicle ends up in the quicksand, you might not be able to interact with it if you were in the quicksand. The workaround is to try and get on top of the vehicle to interact with it. This will be fixed in the very next patch. Visiting. We removed the restrictions when visiting other sietches. Before this change, players had their home sietches and could visit other sietches in their world but couldn't claim land. Now, any player can go to any sietch in their world and claim land wherever they want. Players can also place respawn beacons on any sietch in their world. As a result of this change, the home icon on the server selection screen, which previously indicated your home server, now indicates on what server you have a base. Similarly, a vehicle icon shows where you have vehicles. Technical instability. Increased game stability. The latest NVIDIA drive was added to the GPU driver check at the game launch. Other. We've introduced player reporting, allowing players to now report other players' messages from the text chat or report players from the inspect menu on players. Technical instability fixes. As a continuous effect, we have closed server exploit vulnerabilities, fixed an issue where a specific type of network issue would cause players to be stuck in an infinite loading screen, fixed an issue where some players could experience a client freeze when traveling between Deep Desert servers, combat fixes, fixed an issue where players performing a melee attack could get obstructed by corpses lying on the ground, user interface fixes, fixed an issue where the guild faction alignment was not localized on the guild overview tab, fixed an issue where players could encounter a black screen if they skip the cinematic at the wreck of the Hypothesis, fixed an issue where several sandbike research schematics failed to mention the Imperial testing stations as the primary source. Travel fixes fixed an issue where players could use an Ornithopter pilot service to fly from the cities to Haga Basin if they had arrived in a city with their Ornithopter. Miscellaneous fixes, you will no longer lose learned emotes when respecking your skill tree. Hopefully you've gained your emotes if you have previously lost them now. And that is all the features, changes, and fixes for patch 1.1.0.17. Please bear in mind, like I said at the start of the video, they do skip a patch note. So obviously the last patch was 1.1.0.15, so they always miss a number. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, the usual nonsense. And if you are interested in joining a guild, we do have guild slots open, but they are filling up quick. Look in the description down below. There'll be a Discord link. Thank you guys. Peace.